Marek here from Audio Alchemist to talk to you today about the Dangerous Music System Complete. What is it? It's going to replace your audio interface. It's going to replace your console. You're going to have outboard gear. You're going to have expansion for outboard gear, and you're going to have your total monitoring system all in one place. It's a beautiful thing. Today we're going to use it USB. You can connect it ASEBU, SPDIF, ADAT optical. There are lots of options, but today we're just going to use USB because it's super simple. So what's happening? I come out of my favorite mic pre, maybe a Phoenix Audio or a Manley mic pre, come out of that and I go into my Dangerous Liaison and bus A. What is the Dangerous Liaison? Dangerous Liaison allows me to switch between 6 different pieces of stereo outboard or 12 mono pieces of outboard or any mix thereof. So right now I've got a back EQ in 1 and I've got a compressor in 2. And so I can use those pieces of gear while I'm tracking. I could also add other pieces of outboard, whatever you choose to add there, and play with that. So while I'm tracking, coming out of my mic pre, I'm going through here, then I'm coming analog out of here into my AD+. The AD+ is an A to D converter, stereo A to D converter. So 2 channels, but I actually have 2 sets of inputs. I can only use 1 set at a time. So right now I'm on input 1, coming out of Liaison, going into input 1, and I'm going to my recording device via USB. So I track my vocals, I track my guitars, I track whatever you're tracking. Track all your stuff, get it all in there. Now it's time to mix it down. What am I going to do? Connected again, USB, I have 2 convert 8s. Each one of these is an 8-channel D to A converter. So together, obviously, 16 channels. So I have 16 channels of digital coming out of the computer, going into these guys. This puts out analog. And so now I've got 16 analog outputs from here going to 16 analog inputs in my 2-bus plus. 2-bus plus is a summing mixer. It takes your 16 channels and brings them down to 2 for you. I have color circuits if I decide I want to have some fun with it. I can choose not to. I can mix and match however I like. The output of this is now going to go into input 2 over here on my AD+. So remember, input 1 was tracking coming out of Liaison bus A, right, from my mic pre's, and input 2 is my final mixdown path. So 180 converter doing both functions. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's an external input on the 2-bus plus, which allows me to pop a compressor or an EQ or something in here. Instead of that, what I've done is I've connected this to bus B on the Liaison. So now all that beautiful outboard that you spent your hard-earned dollars on, you can utilize again. So not just for mixing, a lot of people weld their compressors to their mix bus or something. Now you can use it to track and to mix down, and I didn't repatch anything. So right now, it's going through that whole process, out of here, going back to tape, right, or back to the computer. So I need to still monitor it, right? So how do I hear back what's happening? There are 2 sets of outputs, stereo outputs from 2-bus plus. One we already said is going out to the recording device. The second set is going to go to my monitor ST. So I can monitor through this guy. This is the remote control, and this is the actual brain. And so I'm hearing what is coming out of this whole side, but now I want to hear that final mix that's going through the actual DAW that I'm using, because maybe I added a plug-in at the very end, or maybe I added some outboard beyond that, or whatever happened. So I want to hear what's happening. That's the final round trip. So that final 2-track mix that's going into my DAW, I'm going to have the output of that, again, USB from the computer, going into the Convert 2. And the Convert 2 will give me that final round trip that I'll monitor, again, listening through the monitor ST. That's my full round trip. So very quick overview, mic pre-output goes into bus A of Liaison, out of bus A of Liaison, goes into input 1 on the AD+, AD+ USB out, goes to my DAW. DAW outputs go to the 2 Convert 8s, so 16 D to A's here. Those 16 outputs go to my 2-bus plus analog. 2-bus plus sends 1 set of outputs to the input 2 over here that goes to the DAW. The second output goes to my monitor ST so I can hear what I'm doing. Remember that I've got the external insert here, so I'm on bus B, so I can use all my outboard all over again. And then finally, that final mix down that I'm doing in there is played back through the 2-channel D to A of the Convert 2, which is connected again to my monitor ST, where I can just switch inputs like that. Any more questions? Feel free to contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.